All right, today for Honors Intermediate Algebra, you are doing section 9.3.2. You're going to be starting off by doing question number 77, A through C. There is nothing on here that you should not be able to do. The one thing we are going to be getting into, as you can see right here, is we're going to be graphing. I wonder if this is locked in place. Going to lock in place here. You can see that you already know how to graph linear inequalities, but now you're going to be graphing nonlinear inequalities as well. So as we get into that here, 77 should be easy, as I said. 78, in order to do 78, this is a really good problem, but there's a resource page I'm supposed to be giving you. So I'm going to give it to you right now. You're going to have to copy it down to the best of your ability on graph paper. Here it is right here. I wonder if I can zoom that in for you a little bit. Let's see if we can zoom a little bit better. There we go. Let's just slide that over so it fits on this page. There we go. So this is the number of people living in poverty. That's what the y-axis is. The x-axis is the population in millions. And then you're going to want to plot all these points on there. So pause the video right now. Copy down this graph so you have that. That will be your resource page that you will use on question number 78. So pause right now. Perfect. Now we're back. I'm glad you were able to pause and get down that. So now you should be able to answer both question A and B on this one and graph that. So please do that at this point. Now that you're done with question 78, 79, you need to graph this parabola on graph paper. So just so I'm not going to graph the one you're doing on graph paper, but I'll give you another one here. So if I was going to graph a parabola on graph paper, I would, bear with me as I do this here. And there we go. If I were to graph a parabola on paper, and I'm just making this one up as we go, let's say this was my parabola right here, and we'll pretend that was it right there. And let's say that it should have been, it was less than or equal to, not a, or let's say it was less than or greater than. So then I would put a dashed line on that. So it would look like that. If it was less than, then less than would tell you that we would shade underneath it. So we would shade everything underneath this parabola. So as you can kind of tell, everything underneath this parabola would be everything on this side and everything on this side. If I were shading greater than, then I would be shading above the parabola or in this area right in here. So hopefully that makes sense to all of you. All right. If you ever need that, go back to it. I'm going to eliminate that because I think I might need that graph for a future thing on today's lesson. So that should help you be able to graph this parabola right here and how to do it. Again, less than, so you think, is that going to be a solid line or a dotted line? Okay, and by the way, the answers to these, all of them have been given to you as well, so you can always check your answers when you're done. Question number 80, you're going to graph this. If you remember right, this one right here is in y equals ab to the x power. That's exponential growth. So if you remember what exponential growth graphs look like, you can graph that. You can sketch a graph for that. If you don't remember what that looks like, then simply make an XY table, and I would say use for your X values 0 through 5, and fill in your Y values, figure what that is, and graph that, and do that. This one here, for those of you that remember, if you remember right, especially from chapter 8, we talked about getting into graphing form. So graphing form, we said that the vertex, the bottom of the parabola, and we know it's a parabola because it's a quadratic because of that squared right there. And we said that the vertex of that parabola is the opposite of this. So what would cause that right there to equal 0 is if x equaled 6. So our vertex happens at 6. And if this were 6, so 6 minus 6 is 0, 0 times anything is 0, then the y value of this would simply be 3/4. So we know the vertex is 6 and 3/4. The other thing you should know from this is because this is going to cause a positive x squared, what direction would the parabola open? Would it open up as a normal parabola or open down as an inverse parabola? And you should get from that it would open up. So go ahead and graph that one to the best of your ability. There's an answer out there. If you have any questions on that, please don't hesitate to ask me questions on Google Hangouts. I'm happy to help you. This one here, you should be able to get this one. If you don't, take a look at that answer, and then you're probably going to go, oh, that makes sense. If not, then connect with me on Google Hangouts, and I will explain that to you. All right, then, moving forward to question number 81. You are simply going to be taking question number 81 right here, and you are going to be giving me the equation, the inequality for that. Remember, it's in y equals mx plus b format, except instead of being an equal to, it'll be an inequality sign. So give it the correct inequality where it is a dashed line shaded below for that one. And then check your answer again. And then question number 82. We have a absolute value. You may or may not remember what an absolute value graph looks like. That's okay if you don't. If you do not, I would make an XY table for this going from probably like -3 to +3. So your X values should go from -3 to +3. You will get your Y values from there. You'll get the shape of that graph. You're obviously going to need to know, whoopsie, I don't want to move that around. Let's lock that in place. You should know what the line should look like based on that inequality of a less than symbol. And you should also then know where to shade that. So give the best you can to do that one. Check your answer. And again, if you need any help whatsoever, I'm on Google Hangouts. By the way, Google Hangouts, I will be there between 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Did I say 9 o'clock and 1? Between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Then I have lunch break. And then I'm back from 1 to 3. So anytime 9 to 11 or 1 to 3, check in with me at Google Hangouts. I'm happy to help you. And then obviously when you're done with this, you have a quiz to take care of. So good luck. Get all that done today. It's quite a bit of work. Hopefully you've worked ahead from the previous day when you had 2 days to do that. And so you won't find yourself so cramped with so much math today. But if you didn't, then you have quite a bit of math to do today. Thanks a lot, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.